So not too long ago, I was browsing eBay for some Hot Wheels redlines, and I came across a seller that had a redline that I was looking for, as well as a couple of Matchbox cars. But this one is the star of the show, and it happens to be a Matchbox Lesney number 73 Ferrari F1 race car. And originally there was actually a figure placed inside the car. Now unfortunately I have not been able to locate one of those loose, but maybe we'll get one in the future. What caught my eye with this car was, number one, it's a Ferrari. Number two, I love those wheels, nice big rubber tires. And number three, it was really cheap. I think it was $5 shipped. In my book, that's a win. And we've had some of these older Matchbox Lesneys on the channel. It was time to do another one. Also, I noticed that Marty's Matchbox Makeovers has been killing it. He has excellent videos and has inspired me to do a few Matchbox restorations. So let's begin. The first thing we need to do is clean this car. You can see it's been played with in the mud. We're going to take some warm soapy water and a couple of toothbrushes to accomplish this. Now Marty is such a nice guy, he actually let me borrow his wife's pink toothbrush. Shipped it over here to the States, we used it, and shipped it right back. Thanks again, Marty, I really appreciate it. The toothbrush worked excellent. Sometimes a little soap and water is all you need to make a car look 100% better, as you see here. We still need to paint it due to all the chips. For now we're going to just leave it in the water. We need to remove these rubber wheels, and the warm soapy water should help us a little bit with that. After all, this car is over 50 years of age, so the tires are a little stiffer than they would be new. We're just slowly working them off with a pair of needle nose pliers. They eventually come off, and then I throw them all in the warm water to let them sit for a few days. Hopefully this will help with reinstallation. Not sure if it will, but it doesn't hurt. Now we're going to take a closer look at the car that we've got the tires removed, making sure there's nothing too loose, and everything appears to be there. So we're going to drill it out. We are just using at this point our larger bit, which is 3/16. Then we lightly pry up on the rear of the car so we can remove the exhaust. Once we have that out of the way, we can lightly pry up on the front. We're being careful not to pry too hard because this metal is very thin and bends very easily. The interior is really basic. There's literally just a steering wheel and it's on a swivel. In the body of the car, there is no extra accessories. The seat is built into the body. There are the axles. And now we're going to drill out the post. We're using our 16th inch bit to accomplish this and slowly drilling until we get the desired depth. We start by drilling the front and then we move to the rear. Now a lot of my videos I speed up the drilling process. What you're watching right now is actual speed. There's no dubbing. Once we're done with the drilling, I'm taking a file and rounding over the post. And the reason I'm doing this is because the base is so thin, we need the post countersunk a bit so the screws will actually hold the base to the body. Now we're going to take our 256 tap and tap out the holes in preparation for the screws. If you're looking for a tap or the drill bits, be sure to check out the links. They're located below the video in the description. We have links to all these tools that we're using in this video. Once we're done tapping it, we take a 256 button head screw and go ahead and test it out. And here they are, both installed. And now we're going to apply some citrus strip gel. This is a stripping gel. We're just using an old brush to apply it. We're going to brush it over the entire body as well as the base. And once we've applied a liberal amount, we'll let it sit for about 5 or 10 minutes, and then we'll come back with that same brush and the paint should just fall right off. And if it doesn't, you can always apply another coat. Once we get all the loose paint removed, we'll take it to the sink and rinse it off. Now the interior slash base are looking pretty rough on this car. So we're going to go ahead and zinc plate it. Now a lot of you ask, do I ever use zinc plating? Yes, I do. I just never show it on video, as Bare Metal Hot Wheels already has a video that's entirely dedicated to the subject. And it's an excellent video. There's no reason for me to try to make one as well. Now we're going to take our mineral spirits and prep the body for paint. We've already washed with warm soapy water. We apply with a paper towel. Notice we're wearing a rubber glove so we do not touch the body. Now we're going to prime. Now notice we are using a Tamiya fine surface primer. Tamiya has two products. They have a surface primer and then a fine surface primer. The fine, hence the name, is a little finer. I think it does a better job for Hot Wheels, and it's white. The regular is gray, and it's a little thicker. Here is the base slash interior after we're done with the electroplating. We've got a lot of gunk on there. I end up just cleaning it all off with some polishing. Now we are painting this car an Italian red. It's the closest thing I could find to Ferrari red. This is an enamel paint made by testers. I like to mix 1 part paint, 1 part lacquer thinner, and we just mix it right in the cup. If you need to add more thinner, that's fine. You want a milk-like consistency. I like to start with the bottom of the car. The reason why is there's nothing like painting the car up nice and pretty and realizing you forgot to paint the underside or the interior. I've done it before. And here is the final coat. We ended up with 5 coats on this car. And the final coat you would call a wet or a thick coat. Now we're going to go ahead and clear. We're using some crystal clear enamel made by Rust-Oleum. I use this with a lot of our enamel paints when I decide to clear them, and I love the outcome. Usually we only spray 2 coats. You can see there is a mirror-like finish. After we've cleaned off the exhaust, we're going to take some mother's polish, apply with our finger, and go ahead and use our Dremel with our polishing wheel and polish it up. No need to paint this part. It's metal. It should polish just fine. After we're done wiping it off with a towel, decided to add one little addition. We're going to take a toothpick and some Testors gloss black paint and paint the inside of the pipes to give us the effect of a real pipe. And now we're going to take that same Testors enamel paint and mix it with lacquer thinner, a 1-to-1 ratio just like we did with the car. And we're going to paint the base because the original base was black. And this is a complete restoration, so we don't want to really deviate anything from factory, aside from the touch of black that we added to the exhaust tailpipes. Here are the wheels. Now you could try to sand these are wire wheels, but we are just going to paint them. Again with another enamel paint. This is chrome silver Testors, and we've mixed it 1-to-1 with a lacquer thinner like we've done with the other enamel paints in this video. Now we've given our parts a few days to dry. Now these are not completely cured yet. Enamel can take 7 days or more depending on how thick and the weather conditions, but they are dry enough to touch and assemble. Now here is a $5.50 package from eBay. It's an envelope with 2 decals in there, or so we thought. I should have read the auction completely. These are actually stickers. They're not water slides. But as you can imagine, there's not a whole lot of options out there for 50-plus-year-old Matchbox stickers. But to my surprise, these are some excellent stickers. They're already cut out, and they apply really well. It's very hard to see the lines. Now, I did a little bit of research to find out the exact location where these decals should reside on the body of the car. And apparently it didn't matter because every picture I looked at, they were in a different spot. So we just picked a spot in the general area and applied them. Next, it's time to install the tires on the freshly painted rims. They went on a lot easier than they came off, and they look almost new. Very pleased with the outcome. And reassembly. This car is very basic. We install the 2 axles. We go ahead and slide the exhaust into place. It can be a little bit tricky. The back end goes first, then comes the base, and last but not least, we go ahead and screw in our 256 button head screws. Now notice I'm using the black screws on this because the base is black. thought it would blend in a little bit better. And that wraps up the assembly of the car. There's not a whole lot to it. So it's time to play. Rolls just fine. And here is the completed product. It turned out a lot better than I thought it would. Looks like it's new again. But it was really basic. All we did was clean the tires, we painted the rims, we painted the base, tapped and drilled it, and then we painted the body the Italian red and added some stickers. And that's what I really like about these Matchbox cars. There's not a lot to them, and they were built really well. A lot of them have rubber tires. They have detailed wheels, as you can see here, with spokes. And I love painting them. You don't have to try to get the body perfect when you're painting them, like with the Spectraflame Redline. Unfortunately, sometimes Spectraflame actually seems to enhance the imperfections, whereas a enamel such as this can hide them. And here's what we originally started with. The casting was cool, even with all the dirt and scrapes. If we were not making YouTube videos, I would have never restored this because I think it looks awesome. I love that look. I will try to find another one beat up like this just to keep in the collection as an unmolested version. Hopefully I can find another one for $5 like I did this one. They seem to be fairly cheap in this type of condition. So maybe I'll try to find 2 more because that's how much I like this casting. We'll have one that's restored, one that's original, and then we can do a custom. Nothing crazy, but I really wanted to paint that seat black on this one. I think it would have looked great. But this is a restoration, not a custom. And I'm extremely pleased with this one. Hopefully the end result shows in the video and you like it as well. I'd like to take this time to thank my top patrons, which are Gary Burke and Corbin Toll. If you'd like to become a member of Patreon to be eligible for the monthly custom giveaway for as little as $1 a month, be sure to check out the link in the video description. I have a link directly to Patreon as well as Amazon links to all the tools we use in this video. Remember to subscribe, hit that bell, post any questions or comments, and as always, thanks for watching.